want to say so soon, YisraYah'ale, Dawid here to share with us and to open up this book of wealth and riches. Over the many years, I have been troubled by the times and dates of the Mo'adem, simply the feast days. And there is so many calculations in so many ways that they are trying to determine what is what without any kind of knowledge as to what they're doing, any kind of scholarship. And scholarship is important. It is simply that someone has given themselves over to research the dynamics of any subject. And one develops the wisdom of that by dealing with people with a brighter understanding and knowledge of the matter. And so many years ago, Yah began to deal with my heart concerning this fraudulent way that we were keeping the Mo'adem. It's deceitful. It's a lie. It's not ordained of Almighty Yah. And the only reason at that time I did not begin to expose and share this type of teaching, I knew that everyone that I knew would turn against me, and they have. They don't want to hear. They think I'm some kind of lunatic. But through scholarship, studying, you can't say you know a subject or a matter unless you spend time researching from the origin of that thing. And I want to teach tonight, and I will show us nations, those that you identify as Jews, those that identify themselves as Hebrew Israelites, they identify as Jews as well. I am a son of YisraYah'ale. I identify only with Yeshua HaMashiach. I want to give us scholarship, research that I have done over the many years. If you would simply Google one thing, if you Google Hill, H-I-L-L-E-L, calendar, you will find 239,000 pages. So I said that I would take the first 50 pages, and I can determine from there if there is a sense of this corrupt design of the feast days that defy Yah. And that's all you find. I did not even get through 50 pages. I got to 39 pages. But I want to read us this, and everything that I have, you can find it on the web as well. YHWH. I want to give you a little understanding of who this person is. It tells us here that YHWH, he is the traditionally regarded as the creator of the modern fixed Jewish calendar. Everything is fixed. It's no different than pagan Christmas, pagan Easter. They all wait on the vernal equinox. It's no different, period. And that's why your feast days will always be in March or April, because the vernal equinox must be identified before you can set the dates. This is what this article says. It tells me that the Jewish calendar is fixed. I tried to express that you're going to have from one year to another 353 days. That year to the next will be 354, 355. And then every third year there is a leap year. 383 days consisting of 384 and 385. Men do not want to even conversate about that because they are afraid and timid, because they have said and did a thing all their lives, and they are afraid to front it head on. I'm not afraid. There is nothing that I'm right about. I'm wrong if I can accredit myself with anything. I have created no new knowledge. Not at all. It was said before me, it will be said after me. Let me quickly read this. Hillel, he is the one that created this modern fixed Jewish calendar. He is the one that created a 353, 354, 355, 383, 384, 385 year. And there is not one that do not intercalate, even if it's the Hanukh, all of them. The words that he spoke to Moshe was plain and simple. It tells us this tradition, page 1, Akmakos, this tradition first appears in the responsum of Arhel Gaon, written in 992, cited by R. Avraham Bar Hiyah in his Sefer Ha'abura, written in 1122. So this is not something new. This has been around for a neon of time. The citation explicitly refers to the year that even happened, 670, or the Seleucid area, which corresponds with 358-9 CE, or before the Common Era at all. That this has been fixed by the Jews from day one, because they do not understand. Yah brought a nation out in the month of Aviv or Abib. And we're going to teach that. I want to show us, nation, and every one of you, your feast days last year, and this year it will be 383 days. I challenge anyone that's listening to give me your date from last year until this year's feast day. And I guarantee you it will either be 383, 384, 385. All of you all have different ways of determining your feast days. All of you. There is no two alike. But I guarantee you it's going to be in the numerics of 383, 384, 385 this year. From 2023 to 2024, you're going to have a 383-day year, which is a leap year. If you don't believe me, you that did not keep the Moedim with us, give me your feast day in 23. Call. You can call this number, area code 843-658-6222. We can answer that. And I can show you right now exactly, precisely how many days that it took to get, or it will be to get to this feast day. This article is written by Jarach Avraham Slitzer. It is called the Hillel Calendar 2. This from the double portion there on the internet. It says this: Jarach is a content writer and editor of Netivia, holds a degree in biblical history, culture, and language. And he loves both to learn and to teach, especially about the intersection of the nascent or the nascence, the political party, Christian, and the second temple of Judaism. It says this. Listen to what it says. It says, the scripture command us to celebrate Passover in the spring. I want you to hear this. At the time of the ripening of the barley. So the Jewish calendar has to be a solar calendar. You read that. It is a solar, and the word months, it is Chodesh. The sighting of the moon, it is Chodesh. It is the slither of the moon. But in another place, it also commands us. Hear what he's saying. Commands us to remember the new moons, moon days. So the Jewish calendar has to be a lunar calendar. And that's what it is. It is not a lunar solar calendar. This is Hillel. He converted so that it would always fall in the spring. There is much wisdom to why, and the reason why. Yah told them to remember Zachar, even the month of Aviv, understanding the trials and the great agony. Why he commanded them not to eat leavened bread. It must be unleavened. It represented the toils and the agonies that they suffered. And as they processed that tremendous walk from Mizraim, and all the doubting and the trials, the weather, and all of those things, and that's why, as he set it to be a lunar year, that we will be reminded it will take 33 years from where you start your next Passover. If you convert to Yah's way, it will take you 33 years to get to that same spot. What is the 33 years synonymous with? I'll let you answer that. What is it? That we understand and remind ourselves of this great Redeemer of the nation, Yeshua HaMashiach. You hear what the man said, Jaretz? Yah's calendar from day one was a lunar calendar, not a lunar solar. He gave us the precise direction. There must be a preponderance of evidence. It has to be. What he said is enough for me, but I will show us the scholarship of wise men, organizations. They have pondered the same thing, and they know that Hillel, it was a blatant lie. It is based upon everything about that calendar and your calendar. It is based upon numbers, numerics. Yah based everything on the moon. Nothing else. No other stars but the moon. That's it. I want to proceed further. It says, however, he says, 12 lunar cycles are shorter than a solar year, about 11 days. It is. And then you see the highlight there, as in the Muslims' calendar, for example. The Gregorian solar calendar is not aligned with the new moons. Fact. How do you get a 13th month, my friend? And we have men that are so cowardly. They are afraid to speak truth, to deliver the people from under that violent lie. It's a lie. Even though the lunar year and the solar year, they are not synchronized. The Hebrew calendar built on the cycle of the moon, while occasionally adding an additional intercalary month. Excuse me, Deishan, according to the fixed 19-year cycle to catch up with the appropriate season of the solar. Yah's time and the Moedim based upon the moon. There is nowhere where Moshe talks about an intercalary. And when you talk to people about this, they are so bewildered. They don't even understand that there is no intercalary. We got to hear what the Torah says. How do you get, and I say this to men, how do you get a year, 353? It has to be a lunar year. The next 354, that's a lunar year. And men are too afraid to look and challenge themselves to see how wrong they are. And then the following year, which is the intercalary, the third year, which Hillel designed, you will have a 383-day year. You will have that kind of year to keep everything in that sequential order that he organized. 2 years you look at the moon. The third year you add an intercalary. You have a leap year is what they call it. The leap year is a month leaping ahead, but yet you start back after the 13th month, the first month. Show me any place in Torah where there's a 13th month. Now we can beguile ourselves with our own lies and our own deception. It's just wrong, my friend. Study the book. You say you're a student, but we're not students of this book. Listen to this. Look at this one's approach to this. He said that way, if Passover is coming, but it's still winter, then an additional month called Adar 2 is inserted before Adar 1. And returns Aviv and the Passover in the springtime of the year. That's what they do. That's what you do. You intercalate, you add an entire month. As a young ignorant one processing all this understanding back in the days, I would take calendars and I would just count the days by hand. But now technology is greater than that. I could go back to 1985 or 1910 and tell you exactly how many days passed until now. Don't have to just punch it in. We have that kind of informational systems today where you can do that. I challenge any of you all to take last year's feast day and this year's feast day and tell me how many days are between those two dates. I challenge you. And the only reason you won't do it because you're afraid. You're afraid because there is a cowardism in you. I challenge all of you that call yourself leaders. Tell the people the truth. Sit down and show them. That's what we must do. He gave us a lunar calendar, not a lunisolar. And this is how they keep it in what they call Aviv, in the springtime of the year. Let me give you a course on Judaism 101. It is called the Jewish calendar. And you can see the website that it is YHWH.org. This is not my information. This is information of those that identify as Jews. And all of the sites that I basically went to, they are controlled by the Jewish science and the Jewish teaching. Let us look at Judaism 101. Now this, their religion. Calendar is essential. It says the Jewish calendar is based on 3 astronomical phenomena. Where is that in Torah? The rotation of the earth about its axis a day. The revolution of the moon about the earth a month. And the revolution of the earth about the sun a year. These 3 phenomena are independent of each other, so there is no direct correlation between them. On average, the moon revolves around the earth in about 29.5 days. The earth revolves around the sun in about 365 1/4 of a days. That is about 12 lunar months and 11 days. About 12 lunar months in about 11 days. So what are they employing here in the essentials of the calendar of Judaism? This is what it says here in the next verse, chapter. To coordinate these 3 phenomena and to accommodate certain ritual now. These are rituals. It's not carrying out, the mandate of Yah, what he commands us. The Jewish calendar consists, I want you to see that the few of you, us, this is what the Jewish calendar consists of, 12 or 13 months of 29 and 30 days. This is what Judaism teach. I said to one, you must understand people of my color of skin in the latter 1850, beginning around that time, 1900s and about, they did not have the ability to assess libraries or anything. And so they heard things by the word of mouth. And they kept that same process, especially those that identify as Hebrew Israelites. They had learned that process, and they believe that they are the true Jews. I'm not a Jew. I don't even find the word in Torah. I found Yehuda. It doesn't translate to Judah. Yehudaism. To coordinate these, again, I want you to hear this. There were certain now rituals, certain inspired actions, not from the book, but by the minds of men. The Jewish calendar consists of 12 or 13 months. That's factual, what they say. I have no problem with that. I know how many months Yah's calendar consists of. 12 months. I can show you every month in Torah, 1 through 12. I cannot find a 13th month anywhere in the Torah. He tells us 29 or 30 days, and he gives us the certainty of how long that it will be. 353 days, 354, or 355. That's how long it would be in a 12-month cycle. And the 13th month, it will be 383, 384, or 385 days long. The keystone of the calendar is the new moon, referred to us in Hebrew as molach. How does one infer that there is a 13th month? It is a pagan line. He gives us 12 months. Within that span, all of his mo'adim, we just do what he commands. The sign, as Arazachim remind us on Shabbat, the signs of the feast days, the mo'adim, they all come from the moon. Not to intercalate, not to add another month. And people, they buy that because we are ignorant. I said to when I'm ignorant, oh, you're not, I am. But I have no compunction with being ignorant. I'm not a bright man. I'm a man that is brightened by the light of his Torah. That brightens me, makes me happy. I want to learn. And I love to talk to intelligent men because I love to learn. Smart men. And that's what one with scholarship, they have engaged into the depths of every word, because every word is vital. Most of these men today find one or two scriptures they taught on last month, and they recycle the same things. There is no kind of energizing or energy in what they teach. Period. Every word of Yah is pure, so we the servants of Yah, we must love it. Show me a year that's 383. You, my friend, someone, if you're listening, you're a stranger to me, tell me, call and email us your last year feast day and your feast day today. If I was a gambler, I would tell you, I know it was 383 days. It's going to be that long. And that's just factual. Where are the strong leaders that would challenge this concept? I don't care what my great-great-great-grandfather taught me. He taught me things out of the sense of his own. I don't want to, he was literate, but there was also a component of being illiterate. They didn't have the ability to understand a word. They did not. And many of them heard others speak, and they held on to the constitution of that. And that is the only way the Mo'adim, feast days of Yah, to carry out is by the Mu'at. You cannot carry it out any other way but by the moon. By the Chodesh, no other way. You see that little slither facing west? You can't get it any other way. And if anyone tells you that they're liars, they're deceiving you, and I would challenge your pastor, your leader, I would challenge any of them. I'm not afraid, because I know I'm speaking the truth. Now maybe your pastor may be afraid to examine that. Maybe there are you that are listening or may have heard. You don't want to talk with me because of your cowardness. It's not because I'm a coward. I can prove all things. We as leaders must prove. We must sarah. We must test it and examine it by the fire of Yah and see if it meets the criteria of Imat, truth. And none of your feast days, but by the lunar walk, is recognized by Yah. It's a lie. It's fraudulent. Show me how you get a 13th month. And that is the only way it comes. Why don't you have the courage, nation? You men that teach, preach, you leaders. I will sit down with any man. Prove me wrong. I have no pride, because everything I do is wrong. Any actions of mine, they are always wrong. He is right. This book is right. I want to proceed a little further. It says here in the next, that the website is Hakara.org. Why was the Jewish calendar fixed? My friends, you're orchestrating in a Jewish fixed calendar. You keep it 353 days. You keep it 354 days, 383. That's how it's done. Or 385. And then the next year it is 354 days, 355 days, and then it's 383 days, or 84. That's factual. I will sit down with any man. I'm not afraid. I'm wrong about everything. I'm not afraid to be wrong. I'm always wrong. He is right. Let me read this quickly. It says, a short history of the Jewish fixed calendar. That you have fixed that. For what reason? To accommodate me? To make sure it's sustain my religious type of creed. It's wrong, nation. The Origin of the Mulhads by J. Jean Atler, introduction. It was always believed that the transition from the hold up. He said there's a transition. There's a transition from the old way. His name is still Yah. The transition from observation to the fixed calendar was clear cut. You can say you watch the moon, but that is fraudulent. It is not the truth. You may watch it for the first 2 years, and then the third year you watch it. How do you get a 383-day year? How do you get that? I want someone to answer that to me. It's clear cut with the fixed calendar immediately adopted. See how long and old this calendar is? It was a definite form of 358, 359, the date of inception. It was the dates of inception, indeed, according to the traditional quote, in the name of Archagon. The present Jewish calendar was introduced by the patriarch. You follow the same calendar. Hillel. I followed it. I was ignorant. I told when I was ignorant. I wrote a booklet in my ignorance. I'm not offended to say I'm ignorant. I'm ignorant about many facets of life. That's why I've been able to learn from many. This is a fixed calendar nation. You all can continue in your walk, but it's sadistically evil. It's wrong. It is flat out wrong. And if you did just what Yah commands us at the HaChodesh, the new moon, or the renewing of the moon, your time will always go back 11 days every year. It will take you 33 years to get back to Aviv. It will take you 33 years. The sign of YHWH HaMashiach. The agony and the trials. You endure the coldness and you understand what our people suffered in Israel. You understand the unleavened bread, the great battles to leaven the bread and the stench of it when it wasn't leavened. Just take some plain bread and you understand the pure things of Yah. We don't know nothing. We are people that's so self-absorbed with nothing. Folly and foolishness. You put on all your white and dress up, it means nothing. You're celebrating a lie. You that are messengers and men of Yah, I challenge you. I'm not afraid. I challenge you to show me, teach me. Show me how you get a 383-day year. Show me, please. Show me that in Torah. He gives us the origin of how to maintain the course of the Mo'adim. That's what he does, nation. And it is the moon, the Hadosh, or the Hodash. It is the moon. Yahira. That's what he gives us, nation. We can see it says, they call him a patriarch, Hillel. The second, it's the same, whether it's Hillel or the second or just Hillel. In the Jewish year of 4119, Anun Mundi, from creation, 3858, 359 CE, common era, the only discordant element with regard of the theory, look what they said of this theory, that the calendar adopt immediately its definition form. Calendar, its definition form, was that the fact that we found already, now listen to what the Jews say in the Tolman, or the Tolma, and the proponents of Rosh Hashanah from the Sunday was a later enactment. Only some rare rabbinical authority already recognized that the later character of this postponement, indeed passage of the epistle of Shira, Goan, implies that Rosh Hashanah of the year 505 CE was still on Sunday, was generally considered as a result of a copyist mistake. It is only in the first decade of the 20th century, do you hear that? That new evidence appeared after the discovery of the new documents of Cairo, Ginza, Safiha, Ibru, Ba Avraham, Ba Hiya, edit in Philipposkis, London. Only then, whereby there has been all kinds of foul play, Yah raise up men. He doesn't raise up a woman to teach or to guard a man. He raised up a man that has the life and the witness of Hamashiach in them. And when they hear the voice of Yah, they will know it. I know the voice of Yah. No, I don't hear no one. It was amazing back in my days that in my early, 40-some years ago, I preached that long, over that many years. And all these Christonians, hey, pa, and the Lord God said, Yah's not speaking in no voice to this generation, they're liars. We live by Emunah. He has given us learned men to teach us, like he did Shaul and Kephar, and they have given us the template. And there is no voice. I'm going to teach on that soon too. I want to show this deception. And they would prophesy, yea, say the Lord God, there shall be a son that shall come. We have that kind of trashy element in us. He's not talking to you by no voice. It's your mind. Crazy people see that, quote, God talk to them. I'd butcher 10,000 people if they could. I'm simply saying this. He speaks by YHWH HaMashiach. It is that testimony. There is nothing else he needs to testify to us but what's in the book. There is nothing he needs to speak to us in some kind of voice. What does his voice sound like? Is it thunderous? I'll tell you what, when it thunders around here, I get frightened. It is such a magnificent thing in it. It makes the earth shake. What is the sound of his voice? Is it effeminate? Does it roar like thunder? You sense the fire of Yah burning to reveal one thing, the revelation of YHWH HaMashiach. That's it. Quote, God talks to me. I don't, unquote, I have no beef with you because I know who the God of this world is. It is Hashatan. So that is the God talking to your flesh. We got to stay on this subject here. Listen to this. Where I got this. This is from Zivi Glushkan. It is the website. You can see the third page, Marcos. I do apologize. I intended to talk in my home office tonight, but I was compelled to come here in the tabernacle. Now this is the intro to this writing. The Jewish calendar is a sophisticated, it's simple for the common man, for the uneducated, unlearned man. But they say it is so sophisticated, accurate system that has been in use for millennium. It's also an important tool for spiritual growth. Now let's see what he says here. The Jewish calendar is now not precise. He said is a type. No, it is either one or the other. There is no type of lunar solar calendar that Yah speaks to us and commands us. It is a type of lunar solar calendar, which is a lunar calendar with solar adjustment. Someone please show me that in Torah. Shaul writing YHWH speaking that. Show me anything that resembles that. Show me anything that speaks to that in any form. It is a type of calendar. It takes the solar or the sun for adjustment. Show me where Yah said his calendar need adjustments. Show me. A lunar cycle based on the synod month, or complete cycle of phases of the moon, as seen from the earth, is about 29.5 days. God knows what he's doing. He really does. And that is calculated to the full moon always, lands on the 15th of each month, to compensate for the extra half day. Okay? The different Hebrew months alternate between 29 and 30. Let's hear the rest of the analogy. If you do the math, I can't do that. 12 lunar months add up to 354 days. My friends, how can I or you, we, us, them, they, say that there is a 354, 55, or 53 day in the calendar of Yah? He gave us that calendar. And that the Mo'adim remind us of the plenty and the abundance, the trial, the great agony, cold winter, cold tabernacle, you sleeping in a cold place, reminds us and keep us in focus with the times and the seasons of Yah. These men have lied to us. They've guided us wrong. I have fell under the same lies. 12 lunar months only add up to 354 days, which are about 11 days less than a solar 365 year. You see, every year they miss that because 32 days, 33 days. That's why they add the extra month every third year. They miss that. Then the first year, the second year, and the third year, they bring them all to culminate for an extra month. That's how they do it. And these preachers today don't know that. They go by traditions of our forefathers, and they meant well. I will adjudicate any of them because they were unlearned men. They did not have the tools. Many of them came out religious, Baptists and Methodists, all of that, Pentecostal. One day, Yah's will, maybe the winter next year. He grants me life. I have cataloged a teaching of every, I have searched beyond the realm of searching. I know all the pioneers and those that began, what kind of religious setting they came out of to identify with Hebrewism. And those men did not have, in essence, many things like qualified skills like there's great-great-grand-youngers today. The tools are accessible, and I take advantage of them. So there are 33 days. That's why there's an extra month. Because you will extra month added every third year because of the 353, 354, they must adjust that. And if they don't do that, you will see that the Mo'adim will circle back. That's just a fact. Without some typical, look at what they say now. This is from the Jewish Orthodoxy, excuse me, nation. Without some type, now not just any type, but some type, you got to do something. But is it according to Torah? Without some type of adjustment, the holidays will be 11 days earlier every year. They would travel around the calendar and come back to the same spot only once every 33 years. That's profound, isn't it? Once, what does the number 33 represent to you? I'll leave that to you. That's Yah's ordination of his martyrdom. As a fact, you suffer through the springtime, summertime, autumn, the harsh weather, you making that trek, barefooted, got to get to Yerushalayim. But look what it says here now. Yet that does not happen because the Torah, Devarim 16:1, look what it says now. Mandate, Passover be celebrated in the spring, similar to the original Passover as chronologized in the book of Exodus. And for that work out, a system was eventually adopted, 7 leap months over the course of 19 years, to work out everyone in 3 years. Now this is a flat out blatant lie. Yah just reminds them in the month of Aviv or Abib when they came out. You came out into the promises, light, refreshing. I brought you out in a time that there was much abundance. You could eat barley. Yet he's taken us through times of hardship, battles and trials. That's what this is about. He did not say, make sure you keep it in Aviv. We do keep it in Aviv. In that 12-month cycle, we do. What is the month that if you add 30 days every 3 years, what month is that? So you tell me you must intercalate to get to Aviv. You tell me that? And we are that juvenile, we buy that. We have no sense at all, nation. I'm not appreciated by men. Very few. I'm not loved by many. I am all right with that. I'm no Shaul or no Chefa. I'm nothing. Couldn't even touch the laces, the hemming of their garments. I'm a simple preacher. I buy what's in the book, even without understanding. I buy what is written. Show me any place, Devarim or Exodus. In order for, it says here, in order for that to work out a system, what? A system of lies, a system of intercalating, a system of an added month. My friend, you add an entire month. You don't have to buy it. Someone, find some feast days from the 23rd to the 24th. You know someone that kept it then? Send me the dates and let's see how many days transpired. It's either 383, 384, or 385. That's factual, my friend. Y'all did not make a mistake at all. He knew our transition. He knew what it would be like in the cold time, the springtime, and all the times of the year. He knew what the battles would be, the opposition. He brought us out in a month at that time that he showed the refreshing of life. You have been dead so long in Mizraim under the bondage and the power of great darkness, just like we in this wicked nation. America. Racist and corrupt. America. We have learned the way of the heathens. Can I say that if you go up on, I search hundreds of web pages every year. I look for the feast days of those that identify as Hebrew Israelites. Very few you will find. They don't put them up. I don't find them. And if I'm wrong, I do apologize, but I search this web. I search things out. I'm no slouch when it comes to that. I search them out. Search them out. And very seldom I find them. UPK, IUIC, all of them. Every little spinning one. I search hundreds of pages. Literally hundreds upon hundreds. I search them. And if they post them, it's going to be up on the web. In fact, very seldom you find them. Very seldom. You don't find them. Period. He said, we must follow the same system as the original Passover, Pesach, Chronicle in the book of Exodus, in order that to work out a system was eventually adopted. I said to a friend recently, I said, you follow this system. It is called the Metanic. I'm not boasting nation, I'm a student of life. And if you were to come and see, I can take you to my Microsoft front page. I have one page that is called the Metanic cycle, the Metanic, the 19-year cycle. I have close to 600 pages just on that subject. Just on that subject. I have searched it every angle, every way. I know what I'm saying, my friend. There are men, they may have 2 or 3 pages or 10. I have nearly 600 in every facet, the moons, the times, and this, you name it, from Israel and all of that. Usually they say Ada 1, Ada 2. And they would always tell you back in the days, 30 years ago or so, there was no barley found in that part of the land, that little slither of land. There's no barley grown there. There is none grown. Unless there's some wild barley, they don't grow. That is a little slither of that nation, as the country. They import everything. Every single thing they import. They don't export. Everything to that country, barley, wheat, rye, it comes abroad. You can't hardly grow anything there. And those that, he's going to take us back to our peace, Lord. He gave us land. And now I see these Hebrew groups, I'm going to get back to this. They're embracing those on the continent of Africa now, when they will call them dirty, nappy-head bastards and everything, stinking Africans. As a fact, I've been around for a while. And most of you, even your older leaders, I'm older than them. Of all of your systems throughout New York and all, I'm older than all of them. I know what they said about those. And now you got the Afrikaners, those that from whatever country, they're not Africans. That they're talking the same kind of bull jive. Same thing. You've been oppressed, man, all your life. You talk that jive talk. I've never seen the people that denigrate what they call their women, their wives. Man, we come to the feast, man, these hoes, these dogs, they use the B words. I won't use it now. It's not an inappropriate word, but I don't want to use it. That's what they call their women. Man, these hoes, we be popping here. Even the world, grown men look like overgrown children. Children don't even talk like that. There is no one that's a man that would talk like that. He's a juvenile chump. We got the hoes here. You got the hoes. That's your wife that she's a hoe? Let me get back to this. I'm just saying how childish that is. Believe me, I could be a part of any of the groups. Come on down here, leader, and see what we have. You think I'll let someone come down here and lay up with holes here? No, that ain't about to happen. He talks about this night. That's the only way it was fixed. And that is the same cycle that Hillel used. It is a 19-year cycle. I got 200 pages of better just on that, dissected in every fashion. I did. Before I ever started even teaching that what was taught to me was wrong. I will not go back. I will not back down. These men are liars. They are the seed of darkness. And every liar shall have their parts in Sheol. That's what they are. It says that this system eventually added 7 leap months. Who has a concordance? See if you can find that in the Torah, leap months. I know you can't find it. You can find where he leaped from here to there, but no leap month. Not even a leap day. Excuse me, nation. I've been in the greenhouse all morning, planting tomatoes and everything, preparing for the garden. So there are 7 leap months over the course of 19-year cycle, which works out to be every 3 years. Every 3 years, you got to add a month. And that's what these men do, and that's why they get a feast day that's 383 days away, and 384, 385. Why we just cannot examine things. I don't care what your grandfather taught you or your uncles and all of them, they were wrong. They did not have the ability like I do and you do today to examine those things. I'm to make sure that you're in Imuna. Why not? All of this, I wanted to retrieve all the information from Jews. And that's what I have done. There's some informative information I have that is outside of that sector. Here's another one. What is a Jewish calendar? It is from AISH.com, AISH.com. And all of these that are interpreting the time or giving us wisdom concerning that, they are Jewish sites. I cannot find one Hebrew Israelite site that expressed that or explained anything. You can't find one. They give you dates and that's it. They don't teach the people. Why don't you, my friends, your last year, Pesach, Passover, count the days until 2024. It's in March or April. See how many days are in the mix. 383 days. It depends. 384, 383, 384, 385. Because the Hebrew Israelites, you think there's a cohesiveness in when they keep. It's crazy. I'm going to keep it the way the book expressed to me. I don't care if no one walks with me. You don't want to walk, I want to walk with the sons of YisraYah'ale. I love them. Y'all bless us with this beautiful place here. It amazes me. The beauty, the food, the accommodation. I want fellowship. But I will not just fellowship for the experience to say, I'm fellowshipping. I will not. Listen to this here. It's called Ish. It says the Jewish calendar, all of them tell you that, is a lunar calendar with a solar adjustment. How brazen and arrogant is that? What Yah did must. He put that into My hand to adjust? That's beyond arrogance. That is an arrogance mind beyond the pale of arrogance. Must be adjusted. So that means that the Shabbat is not the seventh day, but it's the first day. So that means with some the Shabbat is on the Thursday. With others the Shabbat is, you got to figure it out on the moon, the new moon. He gave us a plain truth. He didn't tell us as with the feast days. He just says, Shabbat, keep it set apart. That's what he said. That's it. Must be adjusted. No, he said it in place then. First day, fifth day, the Shabbat day. He rests. Those commandments there, to my right, deals with loving Yah and caring. And he gives us more about caring for each other. On that one there. We don't know how to care about each other. We don't even know how to love. We can say what we want to. We don't even know what love is. Period. Period. And you that certainly do not know, you boast. You can't tell me love is one of the most profound verbs in action. It is proactive. Now, people that would tell me, I love you, don't even want the fellowship with me. Come on. I have never turned my heart on any man. I don't care if he doesn't agree with me. You're not going to draw me into the folly. But I would do right by all men, especially those that say they love Yah. Quickly. Hallelujah. The Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar. No, it is the Hebrew calendar that's the lunar calendar. The Jewish calendar needs adjustment. Not the true Hebrew YisraYah'ale calendar. It says the Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar with a solar adjustment. A lunar month based on the synodic month, a complete cycle of phases of the moon as seen from the earth. Everything is the moon nation. About 29.5, which is multiplied by 12 months. I know what it is. It's 354 days. That's what it is, my friends. You have been deceived. You have been lied to. We have been beguiled because of our own ignorance. You hear the truth, you learn the truth, then you walk in it. I want any of you all to call me. Area code 843-658-6222 and show me. Show me. Show me that Yah commands us to interculate. He didn't tell Moshe that. You that Yah talks to, it is your mind talking to you. He talks by his son. I'm going to teach that. I will show us some things, all right? We've learned that from the Christian and the Pentecostal way and all that bull jive, acting crazy and immature. It tells us this. 12 months, 354, the number is about 11 days less. See, they all say that than the solar year. The time required for the earth to travel around the sun. No, it's not the earth traveling around the sun. It's the sun traveling around the earth. I put together teaching on this about 15 years ago. I don't believe I can find it, but I'm going to put that together again and teach it. Which is about 365.25 days without some type of correction. Listen, without some type of correction. Without some type of correction. Any given Hebrew date would occur 11 days earlier each year in relationship to the solar cycle and the season, which are based on the earth's position via the sun, Boal. Everything that y'all command about the feast days are based upon that moon. Yarech, the moon. that body. Leap year is in the Hebrew calendar. Excuse me, nation. Is that the Jewish calendar is a lunar calendar. It needs adjustment, as what is said here. That's a double copy of that. Let me move. I want to, I have one more page, the last page. This is from the Jewish Encyclopedia. Calendar History. JewishEncyclopedia.com. This is what the book says. Jewish calendar may be divided into 3 periods. The Biblos, Talmudic, post-Talmudic. Look what it says now. All of this will be posted. You can see it's JewishEncyclopedia.com. I will certainly credit those with the information that they put up, because they're putting it up truth. They're telling you the truth. This is bona fide truth. They're not lying to me. They tell me they're fraudulent, deceiving, evil ways and their concepts. They're telling me the truth. Jewish calendar may be divided into 3 periods. The biblical, Talmudic, and post-Talmudic. The biblical one. The Torah. The first rests purely on the observation, wrong, of the sun and the moon, purely on the observation of the moon. The second on observation and reckoning. The third entirely on the reckoning. So they in their own corruption say, okay, how do we align the moon and the sun so we can come to this period to make sure we keep it here? That's what they're saying. The study of astronomy was largely due to the need of fixing the dates of the festival. So they brought in this astronomy. He said the command, Devarim 16:1, that's a lie. Keep the month of Abib. That's right. YHWH lunar year. And the month of Abib circles made it necessary to be acquainted with the position of the sun. See, they assume, and that's what those of the writers of the doctrine, you equate the sun and the moon, that we give us days that will bring us all the way back to this. Also, observe the moon and set it apart or sanctify it, made it necessary to study the phases of the moon. No, it was important to know when the phases are. And you study that. Sure you do. Everything is based on the moon, my friends. It's not based upon a solar year. And anything that's in the 360s is a solar year. You can say what you want to. There's one more capture I want to read, and then I'm going to close. A little over an hour. This is BibleResearch.org. BibleResearch.org. It talks about the sacred calendar and the new moon. According to the biblical law and the occurrence of the first day of the lunar month must be acknowledged. That must be acknowledged. And each annual feast must be celebrated on a specific day of a given lunar month. Isn't that amazing? Lunar month, lunar year, and even they recognize this. But let me read further. Therefore, it is necessary to determine the first day of the lunar month in order to ensure that it is acknowledged and in the observance of Passover, the annual feast and celebration in their proper season, correct day of the lunar month. The feast days gives us, you see those places to look. He did not, my friend, please you all. Don't fight me. I'm not here to fight any man. If you all want to fight, I don't even have the energy. I'm not here to fight against anyone's ignorance. I'm here to show and help. Because I'm an ignorance man. There are so many things I don't know. We will not even discuss that. Listen, he gives us Numbers 10, 8 through 10, Yeshua, Isaiah 6, 22, 23, Yeskel, Colossians. He said this, among those who acknowledge the new moon, as noted in Scripture, biblical text. That's what the book says. There are basically two schools of thought as to how to determine the exact day on which the new or the renewed moon occurred. Some people believe that the current version of Hillel, the second calendar, must be used to determine the day on which to acknowledge a new moon, while others believe that the precise occurrence of the new moon must be determined by the visual sighting of the new crescent. They said in Yerushalayim. That's not what the Scripture says. His people are not in Yerushalayim. I was saying to one recently, his people are everywhere. He used the word scatter, and he scattered or puts, P-O-O-T-S, them into all whole. And when y'all use that word, all of the world, of the earth, all before, he means that he scattered them into the Eretz, E-H-R-E-T-S. That means the whole global expanse. When Yah says he scattered them into the world, and the words Olam, O-L-A-M is used, that means that he scattered them to Georgia, South Carolina and Georgia. That means it's a specific area of the world. His people are everywhere. They intermingle with every nation and every people. Their skin hue is from one extreme of lightness, whiteness, to the blackest of blacks. It's amazing because now the Hebrew Israelites, I've been around for a long time. I know your stories because I had the internet when it first came out, my friend. They were not there. None of what there was there today. And how you denigrate those on the continent of Africa, that is somewhat crazy, though. Let me say this in my closing. That here Mizraim will be considered what we call Africa, but it's a nation of and its own independence, like all the countries in Africa. When they ran, what do you think they ran to? You think he scattered them to America? The only way that we conclude on the ships of slavery. Those slave ships went all over the world, my friend. There are people in Russia through generations are as black as I am. Many went under the leadership of Stalin to work there, married and integrated in there. Alexander Pushkin Square. You ever seen a picture of him? He scattered them everywhere. And I said to what I said, and I say this to many, we're always in the summertime here in the South or in America, if we interculate. But those, you tell me there are no Hebrew Israelites in Russia? Get out of here. There are those that have moved from America live there. So the only time they celebrate is going to be ice cold. So in that condition, do they not remember the month of Abib in the 12th month? In that first month when they came out, don't they remember too? This is such a concoct foolishness. It's a shame. And we have cycled that from generation to generation. He did not make it hard for us to understand. When those men out watching with the sheep, the herders, they could look up and they would know how long had passed. And they knew what month it was. When they were out for months, when that star, when the king of all creation stepped on the scene, they saw that star and he spoke to them of the vision that would be. We should all be keeping at the same time. Everyone. Go on the internet. Let me put it this way. I have hundreds and hundreds. I do. Of feast days. I search the web like an insane man. I copy them, I paste. And you find some dates are different. Some a day, a part of a week, some a month. There is no consensus, but I know one thing. There is one consensus. There is no added 13th month. They tell me I'm a liar. Tell me I'm lying. There is no 13th month. There is no 383-day year, 384 or 385. Tell me I am a liar. We have been deceived by the thuggery of these evil, sadistic men. They don't give a knickers what the rats, dogs, meat about you. They don't care. They don't. Just send me your money. That's all that matters. Period. Nothing else. Nothing else matters. They don't care for the nation. And we have been deceived. Your grandfather may have meant well and your grandmama, but they didn't know. They didn't know. He did not put this wisdom into every man's hands. Only a few. Only a few. That's why there are going to be few there is that be delivered. May the riches of God rest upon you. I've enjoyed this night. I really have. Just sitting here for the moment teaching as we prepare for his kingdom. We're going to be putting up many videos this year. We're working on our new website. We're trying to draw things from the old one from the beginning. And it's coming along quite well. So we're going to have it up, and it's going to be very interactive. You can write. There's so many people that have written on Facebook and all of that we had no idea. But now we will have the knowledge of that, and we will answer back. Believe me, nation, propose and answer back, and make sure there's a viable fellowship. I'm not here for no bull jive now. I'm not here to play games. And I say this to all Akim. You come here, I don't play and laugh and shuck buck. That's not my MO. You're not going to find me with a group of Akim. If anything, I'll be preaching. Some brother, but I'm not here to. As a matter of fact, I basically love the Achim and the fellowship of all, because I can be somewhat of I can be someone of, what is the word I'm looking for? Someone that kind of mess things up, because I get to talking and I don't stop. Barak nation, be encouraged. Press on in this Imunah as we strive to understand the will of Yah. That is our purpose in this life. So Barak, we'll see you Wednesday night, all right? Barak, and be encouraged. Shalom, nation.